Hey everyone, what's going on? So, the last couple videos I made, I talked a lot about Jesus Christ in Hebrew Gematria equaling 316. And for whatever the reason, I wanted to double check it. And because I've been talking about it for months, and I thought, I don't know, maybe I better recheck it. And when I did, it kept coming up with something that wasn't 316. And I still can't figure out why Google Translate was doing that, but it was coming up with some big long thing, not just this little whatever this is in Hebrew lettering. It was coming up with something clear out to here. And I was doing it this exact same way with the capital letters and everything. And I noticed that if I did just Jesus with a lowercase j in that font, whatever it was in, it would give me 316. But now all of a sudden it's working again. So I don't get it. I don't understand what went wrong with Google Translate. But Jesus Christ does equal 316 in Hebrew Gematria. And, just think about a lot of stuff. John 3:16, and I was talking a whole bunch about Charles Manson and the kneeling during the national anthem stuff that was synced up to it. Anyway, I was just kind of fiddling around looking at some other things and phrases in Hebrew Gematria after I did that, and I noticed that the word Pope equals 81 in Hebrew, and that just stuck out to me because clear back around Pope Francis's birthday and before the Super Bowl, I was talking a lot about the number 81 and how it synced up to the Super Bowl, and it was connected to bridge symbolism and how it connected to 2015, where I was talking a lot about a possible bridge collapse in Philadelphia and whatever else. I thought it was maybe for the Steelers to play the Eagles in the Super Bowl because the Steelers are the city of bridges and also, the city of steel or whatever, city of bridges. I'll leave some links in the description, but there's a definite bridge symbolism going on connected to the number 81. The Super Bowl was in Minneapolis where we had the famous bridge collapse that happened on August 1st, 8/1, and it supposedly fell 81 feet. And in Gematria, Golden Gate Bridge equals 81, and frontwards and backwards and whatever else, Golden Gate Bridge. And this year on May 27th, it will be opened for 81 years. Bunch of stuff to do with bridges and the number 81. And someone pointed out to me that the word pontiff, like pope, means bridge builder. And so it's just interesting now that I'm seeing the word pope in Hebrew equals 81. And Pope Francis's birthday this year, he turned 81 years old, 81 days after the Jesuit anniversary, and he's supposedly the first Jesuit pope. And the pope who created the Jesuits, he died at the age of 81. He's also the 220th pope. And notice Pope Francis's birthday 2 months, 20 days after the Jesuit anniversary. Donald Trump went to a Jesuit university. Donald John Trump in reverse gematria equals 220. A big number that I've been talking about, both of these two numbers in relation to each other. And I also talked about in 1929, because the Super Bowl was really synced up to the stock market crash that happened in 1929. And then we got the St. Valentine's Day Massacre again this year at Stoneman Douglas, and that happened in 1929. And there's a bunch of stuff that's synced up to Mexico in regards to earthquakes and whatever else. And Pope Francis even visited Mexico City that was synced up to their big earthquake that they had in September this year. Like I said, I'll leave some links in the description. But that Pope in 1929, who, when the Vatican City became a sovereign nation, he died at the age of 81. And the reason Mexico was so important in 1929, they had what was called the Cristero War, where the leader or whatever, he didn't want Catholic people, Catholic rule in Mexico or whatever. So it syncs up to even Vatican City. And he died, that Pope died at the age of 81. And Pope Benedict, who was the Pope who resigned before Pope Francis, he became the Pope on April 19th, 419. 419 is the 81st prime number. So there's something, and Pope equals 81. So just interesting, And I was thinking, I was like, I wonder what like 81 days or 8 months and 1 day after Pope Francis's 81st birthday is. And I noticed that 8 months and 1 day after Pope Francis's 81st birthday just so happens to be 81818, right? 81, 81. Like huge mirrors here. 81818. Remember, he became the Pope on 31313. So I just found that interesting. I wanted to just share this information with people. Possibly a significant date, you know. Maybe he's not going to die or anything like that. Maybe it's just, maybe there's something symbolic that's going on. Just like all the 923 stuff, it was absolutely symbolic, and it's still going on in this year. It has nothing to do with, it didn't have anything to do with the world ending on that day or anybody being assassinated, but there was huge symbology to that day, and it's still ongoing. So maybe this day will be important, and it will come back up at a later date, or possibly he will die or something like that. Trying to figure it out, but just interesting, all of the 81 and then 81818. Also, that day, though, is interesting because it will be his 5th year, 5th month, and 5th day of being the Pope. Just interesting. 555, which is also 1,984 days. Remember, 1984 was the 444th year of the Jesuits being founded, and Jesus in Gematria equals 444. Cross equals 444. Joshua, Yeshua, Lucifer, Muhammad. Anything that equals 74 also equals 444 in Sumerian Gematria. 2018 up until 927 is also 33 years after the 444th anniversary of the Jesuits. So just think about that. Jesus supposedly died on the cross age 33, and then it's 444 years after that or whatever that's synced up to Jesus. In 1984 was 33 years ago still. Until this year it will be 34 years, but at this time it'll still be 33. So just interesting with that. 818 is also 5 weeks and 5 days before the Jesuit anniversary. And in Gematria, God equals 55, Satan equals 55, numerology equals 55, heaven equals 55, Garden of Eden equals 55. An important number. So interesting, 5 weeks, 5 days before the Jesuit anniversary. It's also 40 days. Christ in Gematria equals 40. Just talked about that the other night. Christ equals 40. It was Easter equals 40. He supposedly came back for 40 days. He was tempted by Satan for 40 days. He died on Golgotha, that equals 40, the hill or whatever. That's why some people believe that you're called over the hill when you're age 40, right? Because they think that Jesus died at age 40 and not 33 and whatever else. So just interesting, 40 days before. I also pointed out August 18th is the day that leaves 135 days in the year, and it just syncs up to stuff I've been documenting for the last few months. The key of David equals 135. If you write out 81, it equals 135. So does Golden Gate Bridge. That equals 135. Kobe Bean Bryant equals 81 and also 135. And think about his connections to Philadelphia. And in 2015, in the 923 stuff, the big thing was Pope Francis's visit to Philadelphia, where he gave a speech on Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address lectern and whatnot. And that's where the Bible mentions the key of David with the Church of Philadelphia and whatever else. So, definitely something significant. And Philadelphia is the big area that I was mentioning in regards to the bridge collapse and whatever else. So just pointing all of that out, trying to piece the puzzle together here. I even just pointed out Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe Bryant's rape allegation happened in Eagle County, Colorado. The sheriff's office was even in Eagle, Colorado. Kobe Bryant, a Philadelphia Eagles fan. He retired 33 days after Philadelphia's 333rd anniversary. that was in 2015, the same year Pope Francis visited the White House. Philadelphia Eagles equal 333, a Jewish gematria. Talked about how the Lakers had Contavious Caldwell Pope, and that was synced up to Kobe Bryant's jersey retirement the day after Pope Francis's birthday. His name, Contavious Caldwell Pope, equals 333. So, also I pointed out here that 81 days after Pope Francis's 81st birthday is March 8th, which is an interesting day because death equals 38 and whatever else. But 3/8 is also 5 days before Pope Francis's 5th anniversary of being the Pope. Once again, 55 kind of. God 55, Satan 55. So, guess I just wanted to point that out. Thought it was interesting that Pope equaled 81 in Hebrew Gematria. And, 8 months, 1 day after Pope Francis's 81st birthday, that was 81 days after the Jesuit anniversary, is 81818. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Just wanted to point it out. Maybe somebody else can build on it, help me figure out more of why that date might be significant. Seems like a really significant date of this number 81. So have a good one. Peace.